Hey everybody, before we get started, just running this episode brought by our patrons like Alan DeHarp, Ahaga Comics, Architect 10, Black G, Carlos, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie Den, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Shiny P, some guy named Bob, Soda Son 424, 723, and Zach Reed. If you like what we do want to see more, consider supporting us on Patreon, get access to episodes early, and lots of other goodies that really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody. Okay, recording the stuff. So, alright, so you've seen the intro. I'm probably not going to do like a whole big long recap thing every episode. We'll definitely talk about some intro things and like talk about the set, but I wanted to do a formal intro once. So hey, welcome to the Yugioh Progression Tournament Series. This is absolutely not a rip-off of every other draft progression, whatever you want to call it, type video, except it is. But me and some friends are going to be doing some Yu-Gi-Oh drafts. I figured for this first episode, which incorporates Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, or just Legend of Blue Eyes, I guess, there's no "the" in it, and Metal Raiders, I wanted to actually talk about the format really quick, run through our steps and our rules and things before we actually get into it, so you know all the setup, and then we will do compacted versions for all the future videos, assuming we do future videos of this, because, man, not that I want to, like, talk about how my life is hard or anything, but there's a lot of extra effort going into this setup. Just FYI, everybody. So this is probably one of the most production effort. What's the word I'm looking for? Like presentation. Doesn't matter. I won't delay you because this isn't getting edited at all. So here's the rules for the progression tournament setup. We got 4 phases: draft, trade, build, and play. Draft phase is pretty simple. We're going to do a sealed draft. You'll see that footage right after this. Sealed draft mode, open 24 booster packs, the equivalent of 1 box. These are added to our collection. We're saving the collection various ways. The exception is we're going to do this with Episode 1, we're going to do both Legend of Blue Eyes and Metal Raiders, because I've done the Legend of Blue Eyes only format. It sucks. It's really annoying and not really fun because everybody is literally playing all the same cards except maybe some of their, like, second-string trash beaters. And it's not really good for a standalone format, but it does have good cards in it, so we are drafting it. All right? And then we'll move to Metal Raiders as well. So our interesting special spin is going to be Phase 2 Trade. This is a thing that I haven't seen any of these other progression-type formats doing, at least the popular ones, yet, and is a really big thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it's supposed to be a trading card game. You can trade cards. So, after we do our draft, everybody will have what we call the trade phase. Everybody's done their draft. We have the opportunity to actually trade cards. You have some spare cards you can't use more than one of, because, as noted later in build phase, we are using traditional format, so there will still be a limited and semi-limited list, and you can only use banned cards. Forbidden cards are treated as limited, so you can only use 1 copy of them. Right? So if you end up with 2 copies of something you can't use, you can easily trade that for more staples you need. If somebody got a really rare exotic card you needed that they don't need, kind of a thing. Or if you're hunting for special stuff, you can go for that. For instance, spoilers to the draft footage you're about to see, but as a test, I had to test my capture for this, so I tested drawing Legend of Blue Eyes. I got 2 Regekis. I can only play 1 Regeki, so I've got a free Regeki to throw in. So, yeah, you can check that all out. And then there's an extra feature we're calling the card bank, because it's really annoying that you can't use certain cards like polymerization, and that generally these progression-type formats really ignore stuff like starter decks and video game promos. So, to combat that, we have built the card bank. It's just these cards right now. You can see them on screen. These are some cards that are only available in Starter Deck Yu-Gi and Starter Deck Kaiba, and that are only available in Dark Duel Stories, the video game promos. So basically, once during your trade phase, you can swap 1 card from your collection, you actually remove it from your collection, and you can take a copy of a card from the card bank. So for instance, if you're trying to play Empty Jar or something, you might go, hey, I really want a copy of Card Destruction. I can normally only get that in Starter Deck Yu-Gi. I will throw away one of my useless common cards, remove it forever, I'll get a Card Destruction. But you're limited to 1 per trade phase, so you can't, like, immediately build a playset of Lord of D or something. Right? Okay. So, that's our trade phase. That's phase 2. Phase 3, build. Now, intentionally, this is supposed to be after all trades are finalized. You go to your collection, you build a standard deck, 40 to 60 cards main deck, 15 cards extra deck. We're playing single elimination. I'll explain that later, so there's no need for a side deck. We are doing a traditional TCG format, so banned cards are treated as limited. You can enjoy, you can use Pot of Greed, all that stuff, etc. And the gentleman's agreement here is if you're already in the deck building phase, stop trading. Stop trades. Don't realize you needed like 3 copies of Spear Cretin and you only got 2. Do that beforehand. Like, do your math. That way we don't get a lot of like going back and forth forever to perfect your deck or whatever. The idea is that it's supposed to be we all get together, we talk about trades, then we all go apart to do our separate own building, then we come together to do the actual play. After draft, trade, build, we get play. I will set up a bracket. I don't know what it is yet because I'm trying to record these with some semblance of sequence because, again, it's a lot of work, a lot of production value is trying to go into this. I have a lot of steps to go through myself for this first episode. Hopefully it'll go smoother as we do more episodes. But in this step, we're going to go in there and do it. There's going to be a single elimination tournament with whoever we got. There's no loser bracket. You're out, you're out. No side decking. Just go through. This is to save time because I've got like 6 people doing this. We're going to play on Edo Pro. That's a thing I think a lot of people are missing. A lot of people use Dueling Book for this. Maybe because they don't want to download Yugioh Pro or whatever. I know this means that we can't do, like, pre-errata text, but you can still set it to do draw on turn 1 and other retro rules if you really wanted to. And just with the group I'm doing with and our history on this channel, I don't want to mess with, like, missing any of the math, because you have to do all the math manually on Dueling Book. Messing with, like, searches and stuff. So I know that will affect some of it, but I want ease of use over quote-unquote true authenticity, just because it's going to be a lot simpler if the game simulator does some of this stuff for us rather than us have to do it ourselves. Now, here's the prize results. So, if you win the whole thing, you get a prize. You can open 3 copies of a relevant special booster pack. So, tournament packs, or championship packs when those come out, or reprint packs, right? You can add 3 of those, supplement your victory and your deck with some extra stuff. However, stealing absolutely from MBT's Progression Playoff Series, if you're eliminated first round, if you're in the first set of matches and you're eliminated, you get to ban a card from our format forever. That's right, we do still have a ban list. The example here is, everybody got Trap Hole but you? You don't like Trap Hole? Fuck them, ban Trap Hole. No more Trap Holes. Everybody must immediately remove all copies of Trap Hole from their deck and cannot add them in future formats. I do have a gentleman's rule here, like, please only ban cards that have actually shown play. Like, just because you know everybody has Raigeki and you don't ban it unless you're actually seeing some Raigeki slap down on the field. This will force our format to evolve and hopefully help fight some of the the consistency we see in some of these draft-type series where everybody locks into, like, a powerful strategy in the first couple boxes and then sticks with it and doesn't change anything. That's not really what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to progress and evolve. Sometimes there'll only be a little progression because you have a core strat. Sometimes there'll be a lot. But I hope this ban list thing will kind of, like, keep it rolling and cycle through some of this stuff in addition to actually, like, the drafting experience. And those are our 4 phases, all right? So there's our setup. There's our intro. And really quickly, before we move on to the draft, I do want to pull up our 2 sets and talk about them really quick. Yeah, that's captioned correct, all right. And that's all in frame? Okay. Sorry, first time doing this. Expect this to be less interactive, but this is way easier to just do it all in my freaking Chrome browser. So we're going to be pulling Legend of the Blue Eyes as our first set. This gives us the starters. There are some interesting ultra rares who, if you get them, may come back later, but are not necessarily super powerful. But if you get a Blue Eyes, that is technically playable. There's not going to be a force that can defeat him for a while. There's some fusion monsters you probably can't do because I think Poly is a super rare or something in this set. But you notice there's a lot of the core field spells, which may matter if we end up playing tribal games later. There are core destruction spells like Dark Hole and Raigeki. Smaller removals like Fisher, Trap Hole. Yeah, Poly's a super. Remove Trap might actually be relevant. 2-pronged attack. The 2K defenders like Mystical Elf, Giant Soldier, etc. Single tribute power monsters like Curse of Dragon. But then there's a lot of vanilla stuff that's not really that useful, and you have to play field spells or equip spells to get around it. Stop Defense can actually be decent rare. Swords of Revealing Light, a very important card as well. there are some core things here like Hane Hane. That's how you're supposed to pronounce that. Man-eater bug, armed ninja. Like, there are a lot of options here. Pot of Greed, of course, who is allowed. Monster Reborn, and the parts of Exodia, but I don't think anybody's going to get all the bits. So, that is Legend of Blue Eyes, and then let's pull up Metal Raiders really quick as well, because we'll be drafting that as well in this first set. Because basically the problem with just Legend of the Blue Eyes is that the bulk of the set is with pack filler common monsters who are very inconsistent in quality, and to hit over the defenders to actually beat defense mode monsters, you have to get lucky and get a rare tribute monster that's actually worth a damn, or you have to play an excess amount of equip spells and field spells. So we're hoping to skip that and get to Metal Raiders, which will contain some more classic beaters, like Summon Skull. If you can get him, he's a classic tribute monster beatdown. You can get more 2K defenders. You can get Mask of Darkness to recycle trap cards, White Magical Hat to remove cards from the hand. A great strategy. Masked Sorcerer can give you draw power in the future. These monsters actually have decent effects. They might come up. You can also get Magician of Faith, a very potent rare, as well as Mask of Darkness. Come on, I know there's some more of them in here. I'm hunting them. Are they at the bottom? Tribute to the Doom is a powerful super rare. Soul Release is pretty good. Change of Heart, very powerful spell. Time Wizard could be funny, but it's not relevant right now. Sangan, of course, a recruiter, very important. Witch is also, I believe, in this format. Dream Clown. So there's some effect monsters. Jedi Gumo is a possible beater who comes at a risk. You get more consistent, like 1600s, like Rear Powered. Thunder Dragon and his fusion form. There he is. 7-colored fish. A common. An 1800 beater. Legion is, I believe, also in this set somewhere. Cannon Soldier. Dark Elf. A pretty classic staple. It's just a rare, too, Dark Elf. These attribute enhancers, right? Like, there's a lot of really interesting cards that get more consistent. You get traps like Magic Jammer, 7 Tools, Solemn. Sword of Deep-Seated is very important for certain things. Mirafos. Like, Heavy Storm. There's a lot of very important cards in this set. So when we combine the two together, we should get some more consistent decks that have more options, because Legend of Blue Eyes is very trashy. So I'm going to leave you guys with my extra intro. And don't expect the intro segment to be as long as that. I had to recap the entire format and then talk about the two sets. This will be shorter in future videos, don't you worry. And I'm going to show you my draft footage, and then maybe do a little bit of deck building. Draft footage will be sped up, and I will react to it afterward. Alright, so here we are in the deck build phase. So, in future videos, I will probably have like an actual segment where I kind of review the new stuff in my collection. You know, kind of go over what direction we're going to go with the deck, right? But I figured with the very, very long intro and summary to the two sets and the fact that there were two drafts in there, I would skip straight to the deck build phase. So, let's run down what we're working with here really quick in Yugioh Pro, alright? So, thanks to some powerful trades, we managed to get a couple of interesting endgame strategies. But for now, we are playing basically just a good stuff deck, the normal shenanigans. So I got 2 Dark Holes. I actually got 2 Raigekis. I'm only playing 1, because this should technically be set to traditional to display everything. So you can see what we're working with. So I got a Raigeki. I did get a Heavy Storm. I'm playing 2 Poly. For monsters, let's just run down in order. The monsters we got is, so I got a trade for a Red Eyes Black Dragon. That'll help me in the future. And also, I figured I'd include it in this version of the deck because it gives me a 2 tribute monster which has attack, which I can amplify, and may be helpful if we stall out because we have some walls in this format. And actually, I have access to more of them. I just figured that with stuff like Fissure, and I know some guys have stop defense, I don't know how useful they're going to be, but they exist. So we've got Flame Cerberus as the only 1 tribute monster that's worth anything right now. That I got, anyway. And it does have 2100, so it can hit over a wall monster if I need to. Running 3 7-colored fish is the only 1800 beater I've gotten, but I got 3 of them, so we'll run 3. We got 3 Spirit of the Harp, 2 1 Prevent Rat, as I figured I'd go with these basic ones. Because they can all be cleanly searched with the 2 Sangens I have. And if I need to alternate this in future formats, I could go with 1 Aquamadur and 2 Soldier of Stone, who have larger attack values, I should say. So we're running 3 Thunder Dragon. Why am I running 3 Thunder Dragon? Because I have 2 polymerizations, and I was able to trade for a Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, which is a super rare. Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon has 2800 attack, which beats out most monsters, and because Poly works from the hand, I can, if I have a polymerization in hand, and I have a Thunder Dragon in hand, I can discard that Thunder Dragon and immediately get 2 more Thunder Dragons, which means I can immediately fusion them into a 2800 without losing any cards on the field, unlike a Tribute Summon for, like, a Red Eyes, right? So, that's a pretty powerful monster that can be used to beat over some simple attackers, or just after I use one of my many removal spells, I get in, nuke the field, get in there. We're playing 3 Dark Elf. I do have 3 Jiragumo as well, but I did not decide to go with that. That's much more dangerous if it attacks. I figure we can use Dark Elves as just either emergency toolkits to beat over 1800 beaters, or just offensive walls. You know, 2K is a hard number to beat. We've got 1 White Magical Hat and 2 Robin Goblin. I've got the prototype of some hand control shit in here. That might come back to bite me, but I want to try it while it's good. 2 Sangan. I traded for a Hane, so I've got 1 of those. And yes, that's how you say that. 1 Magician of Faith. It's the only one I've got, sadly. She's a rare. I really hope she doesn't get banned. 1 Armed Ninja, because spell removal is not very relevant yet. I don't think D-Spell is in the format, and I didn't get any Swords of Revealing Light, so... 1 Karibo. Karibo's not great, but it can save you from a final loss. And similarly, playing Unhappy Maiden, if she gets run over by an attack, which as a face-down monster, it's entirely easily she will be. There's not a lot of options to remove set monsters right now. That immediately ends the battle phase. So if I top decker or I have her in hand when my field has been wiped and my opponent summons like 3 monsters, she'll be a good way to keep me from dying. Spells, like I said, playing the 1 Raigeki, playing the 1 Heavy Storm, playing 2 Poly, playing 3 Remove Trap. This is a Thunder, not a Dragon, but I do have a Red Eyes, and I know some people have Dragon Capture Jars. And they know I have a Red Eyes because I traded for it. 2 Dark Hole, because we can play as many of those as we like. 1 Pot of Greed. Yes, I have a pot. It's very important to play that pot in traditional. 3 Fissures. 2 Gravedigger Ghouls. Several people have Monster Reborns, so you need to watch out for that. 2 Stimpack. Stimpack is a great equip card in this format. You know, just gives you 700 attack, and then each of your standby phases it loses 200. Monsters don't last very long in this format, so that's a great way to start. We're probably going to be playing some Stimpacks. I do have 3. I decided to cut it down to 2 because I'm also playing Sword of Deep-Seated. which if it's discarded, if it's sent to the graveyard, place it on top of your deck. So if it goes to the graveyard at all, it goes to the top of my deck. This means if anybody else is playing White Magical Hats or Robin Goblin, it's an alternative to keep recycling, and it's also just 500 attack, 500 defense. It's not the worst spell. Now for traps, didn't get a lot of action. I did get a Horn of Heaven, so we're going to play it, because it might actually be very useful to stop a big boy summon. Like your opponent tributes a monster to do a tribute summon, I can sacrifice one of my monsters, nuke the summon. 2 Robin Goblin, like I said, we're playing Proto Hand Control, and this is my secret tech. My secret technology. I don't think anybody else has cotton onto this. I have swapped to the card bank Acid Trap Hole. I threw away an Ancient Elf for this. Acid Trap Hole is a trap card that targets one face-down defense position monster, flips it face up. If its defense is 2k or less, it's destroyed. If its defense is more than 2k, I return it face down. So unless they're tribute setting for at least a few formats, this will get rid of any monster my opponent chooses to set. Now, if they set something like a Magician of Faith, that's bad. And arguably Hane. But if they flip like a Man-Eater Bug or a 2k Defender, boom, get it out of here. So this is a great way to remove set monsters, especially defensive set monsters, which will be a pain in the ass to get over. Right? Think about it. So yeah, that's my secret technique. I can only pull one at a time, because card bank, but I'm hopeful that if I can actually find this trap card, we can do that. And yes, we're playing 45 cards. I don't know the ratios. We're going to start with this number. And work it down. Hopefully it does good. We plan to have the bracket out to you soon, so you can actually see some matches in some form. And that'll be that. So let's cut to the games. All right. Hey, hi. So as part of the ongoing clusterfuck that is setting this up and getting this going and having everybody be super enthusiastic for it, I love it. We've basically decided that unless something goes horribly wrong, actually, we're going to do at least the first one. I don't want to commit that all of them will be streams, but at least the first tournament bracket will be a stream. Okay? Going to be a stream. Going to be locked in. We're going to do the bracket. It's already set up. So, basically, this is now going to be released as a standalone promo to lead into the stream, to get the hype up, and also to explain to people what's going on so that it happens. Heck, if I upload it to YouTube, I could play it on my own stream if I really wanted to. Not that I think I'll do that, but I could if people needed the introduction. But it's like 20 minutes, so I probably won't. We'll probably just get to playing card games. And basically what you're going to see is either you're going to see a recut of this video, and I'll be sure to let you know if it is, because I still have all the same original video files, but you might see a recut of this project that inserts all the replays of the tournament from the stream, which I might try to take, or I will do a standalone master cut highlights of the replays as a second recap video, okay? So you don't have to watch the whole stream live if you don't want to. But I recommend it that way because it'll probably be funny. We're going to have a lot of people on. So, and if it falls through, I don't know, I'll do something else. I'll work it out. There's a lot of production value going in this. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it seems like it's enthusiastic. We're going. We're doing it. So, we're going to do Progression Tournament, Legend of Blue Eyes, Metal Raiders. We have randomized this several times to achieve peak RNG. Here is the bracket. So, our first round, game 1, will be between 2 competitors. We have Axerman, Axe, who represents the local Sentai team and will be repping everybody's favorite giant monster combo. He will fight against Dallas Rose, who has recently come off the underground deathmatch dueling ring. He got tired of playing matches with electroshock collars, and he decided to go straight and join the Progression Tournament. In our second round first matchup, we have me. I'm Omega. Hi. I am the protagonist, obviously. Which, of course, I will be playing against Vesper, who recently fell from grace after abusing too much pot of greed. Just drank too many pots of greed. Had a little bit of a card scandal, and has fallen from regular competitive tournament play down to the Progression Tournament series, which is awful. And then lastly, we have our 2 Bios competitors. We have Sate, also sometimes called Marth. He is here representing the Lollipop Guild, a very powerful faction. We had to get their permission, so they let us bring a guy in as a tournament. We put him in a bye, it's fine. And then our second bye, introducing our second round pick, before the semifinals of whoever beats the best out of those will be Lothram Loth, our resident member from the Upside Down. I don't know how he got here. I think he used a Gravedigger Ghoul to dig through the earth to get to this tournament, but he's also here as one of our buys. So there's your 6 competitors. There's our bracket. We're going to go crazy, and we'll see who wins for victory and glory. And, hey, I'm in the first round, so no matter what happens, either I get to move on and I get satisfaction that I got a victory in the first ever progression tournament we're doing, or I get to immediately ban something that I don't like. Yay me. So, there you go. I hope you enjoy the stream that is upcoming. And again, I don't know how this will look yet, but whether or not there's a separate replay video, a replay comp of highlights, or that goes next, or that's a separate video, I hope you check those out and check out the stream. And I have a lot of excitement for this. Everybody participating has a lot of excitement for this. So stay tuned for more progression stuff in future videos that will hopefully be better refined. I'm hoping to cut down on some of that intro size stuff and do some different graphics and things. Anyway, anywho's, I'm going to go now. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and especially subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you know when we go live at that stream and for all your latest progression tournament updates. And consider supporting us on Patreon so you can get access to stuff early. Okay. All right, I'm going to go.